Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Yeah, we're getting the cooking show going here. We've got all the ingredients ready to go for a really good American original. Hi. Yeah. I'm David Sponheim, the American original. I'm here to do what I do best, which is make life easy for all of you. And making recipes that are very affordable is really what this is all about. Yeah. Thank you. So let's get the show on the road. What do you say? Right. There we go. Okay, I'm opening up the chat rooms and I'm going to get familiar with who's in the room right now. Let's do that right there. Got to get into one chat room. Hang on. It's always a challenge to get into the chat rooms because we have to expand screens now and log in. Yeah, it turns out I can't, because I'm broadcasting through a VPN, I can't even see my own show unless I go through the scrim of Cool Rock, which is a perfect way of getting in. Let me mute this for a second. All right, we're up and running. Welcome, yeah. So, good evening. What's on the menu tonight? Well, we're going to be putting that together right now. I'm going to get my menu tag going. It's going to be a hot dog enchilada. And I made this back in the 1970s from a recipe that I picked up off of a microwave recipe book. I then started making it in the oven, and it turned out pretty good. We're going to go with $6 for 6 people for 6 meals. And let's bring it on in. Yeah, hot dog enchilada. Here it goes. Well, that needs a little something around it. I can tell you that's not really standing out very much. We'll go with the outline red and go for a white background or a black. Yeah, look, there we go. Yeah, a lot of things going on here. There we go. Okay, hot dog enchilada. Yes, enchilada, hot enchilada. Now you're thinking this is not right. You can't possibly be expecting to cook hot dogs, David. I mean, that's really bad for you, right? Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, it could be. It could also be really good for you if you have no food. So what we're trying to do is actually give you the opportunity to save money and also save on calories and whatever. Your Mexican's ancestor recipe for hot dog enchiladas, really? You have one? That's kind of nice. You actually have a Mexican ancestor. Congratulations. Yeah, not many people have those, and some of you are very, very lucky to have Mexican ancestors who know exactly how to cook this meal. Thank you. All right. For some reason, I'm still struggling with the browser here. There we go. Because these are live broadcasts, you just have to accept the fact that, I'm going to be setting things up during the beginning of our show. That's what we do. Oscar Myers, yeah, well, you don't have to buy really expensive hot dogs. You can buy cheap hot dogs. How am I supposed to use up this half jar of chimichurri that I salvaged from Fallout Shelter? Well, now you know. Let me show you. I've got a veritably the same thing here when you bring the camera in. Yeah, here we have an acquisition of green salsa dating back to 2006, and I picked this up for 50 cents in a closeout section. So I'll be using half a jar of this. You can replace it with a simple dollar thing of green chili Ortega chilies. And if you like hotter, go for hotter. It's made of avocado and tomatillo, and it was made about 12 years ago. So I'm going to see what that smells like when I open it up. It's dated for, actually it's not even dated. It came out before the dates. Isn't that great? And I've got a big, huge Grill Master Applewood Beef Frank 100% beef from McCormick that I picked up for 50 cents wholesale and froze it about 6 months ago. So we're going to use the whole package of this, and I'll show you how to prep the hot dogs. First thing I'm going to do is actually let me put this over the screen here, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to get this pan going here. Let me move this over here so you can look at me there. Yeah, I'm going to fill this pan up with water from the filter. Yeah, so you're looking at, I'd say about a half full. Not really, maybe 1/3 full. We do need to bake these in the oven, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put this on a level high, level 6, and get it going really fast. All right. Let me cut that off. Okay, great. Yeah, so I don't have the luxury of having an oven in the middle of the summer, 400 degrees for 35 minutes. But if you do, and you're in the winter, you want to warm your house, you ought to go for that, okay? I don't bake here, I stovetop cook, and I use a thing called Corelware. I'll be making a small version of this and a big version of this in the back. So, yeah, I've got enough to pull it all together. I know, well, if you're in Australia, you can start warming up your house with a 400-degree oven for 35 minutes. So yeah, this is all about flex cooking. Like right now, I've got a little pebble in my feet there. Normally I don't walk around my kitchen with pebbles, but I normally, have it hermetically sealed and no actual dirt can get in here. But I've got relatives over, and Sarah has relatives over, so we're kind of entertaining them, and you never can tell what you're walking on your. Yeah. The number one rule of hot dogs: do not thoroughly investigate the ingredients. I agree with Joe Pesci. Yeah, this is 100% all beef made by the McCormick, seasoning corporation. So what I'm going to do is take the beef hot dog. We're also going to be using organic tortillas here from Don Pancho's collection. Really nice stuff. I've got $1.50 for this package. 50 cents I paid for the hot dogs, but you can pay $1, so that's $2.50. Green salsa, $3.50. I'm gonna use black beans. I got this for $1 on sale, organic from Safeway. $4.50. I got diced these things at the dollar store for 50 cents. Amazingly, they're non-GMO, which is fantastic. And BPA free, by the way. So I'm up to about $5, and then I added about another $1 for a thing of 50 cents for this, tomato paste, and just a little onion. Okay, so I'm going to take the hot dogs. There we go. Hi. Hey, there you are. I'm going to see if this opens up, this package. I'm just going to cut it open. Like so. And I'm going to rinse the package off. So I'm going to put this under water. Now remember, this is all natural. No fillers, no byproducts, no artificial colors or whatever. But it does have nitrate in it. So I want to rinse it out thoroughly in the package right here. Okay. Then I'm going to boil it. Remember, I got this on level high back here. I'm going to boil that after I slice them open. I'm not going to completely cut them in half. I'm going to slice them open so that they at least get access to the interior of the hot dog when they are boiling. Now what this is a veritable boil fry, and I'll show you how I do it. It's not dumpster food, man. I'm trying to save you people money. Hang on, I have to salute. The jets are flying overhead. Thank you, men and women, for your service, fighting for our country in these buckets of metal. Rusted old metal. Thank you so much. And thanks for burning 30,000 gallons of gas every day over my head. Yeah. So, I'm going to take my handy Cutco knife and do the severing here. Zooming in on hot dogs. Just take and slice them right down the middle like this. You don't have to go all the way through, just all the way to the, like, just so it penetrates the center of the hot dog. Okay? And now the whole idea is to bleed the nitrates out of the meat so that you and your family can eat something other than nitrates, which can cause lesions in your brain under laboratory conditions. All right, isn't that great? All right, here we go. Now there's a lot of salt in those hot dogs because the salt in this meal will be really from the hot dogs. I've got a little bit of salt in the black beans and a little bit of salt in the hunted diced tomatoes. But, well, I guess there's going to be salt in this meal. Hey! All right, so I'm going to wait till that gets to a boil. I'm going to peel my onion right now and get that ready. Yeah, I'm going to probably start cooking my onion on one of the burners, so I'm going to start the burner in the front at a level 3. This Corelware can cook on flat stoves, electric stoves. It works just fine. Even the old Corelware will work as long as you're on the ring. All right, so being I do have those really good knives from Meow, I think I should probably do some. Okay, we'll do the onion cut with one of those knives. All right, I hope everyone's doing very well today, responding to the complete lies that are going on in the New York Police Department, as well as the cover-up of the Jeffrey Epstein case. I'm sure a lot of you are reeling from the reality that Jeffrey Epstein's probably alive somewhere, being the guy that they have in the autopsy doesn't look like him. So you can always rely on liars and corruption at every level in our government. So that much we can rely on right now. It's been consistent throughout the past few years. I meant decades. Thank you. It's not Christmas in July, but it's Christmas in August here. So, hey Tiddly D, I hope you're a Google employee. Stated for sure, Google is censoring conservatives, even providing internal documents. Excellent. I'm glad one of the Google employees has come forth, because I don't want you conservatives stifled. As you know, I'm a centrist and I listen to both the left and the right, and I don't cut you out of the discussion. And I want you people to know that I am concerned. I believe that I'm beginning to reverse my position on Devin Nunes. I believe he's actually doing good work exposing the Democrats' connection to Russia now. But you Republicans have to realize Donald Trump was affected by Russia. He even knew about the rigged election prior to the election and didn't tell our authorities. He knew 2 days before that the election was rigged, before the actual election, for sure. But even according to James Comey, he knew even before that. No, we're not taking Skype calls right now. We're in the middle of a cooking ceremony. Why would I take a Skype call anyway? It's totally unsafe. Technology Thursday, we'll be talking about the lack of safety at Skype. When I first saw Skype in 2010, I met the vice president of Skype at a conference, Interop, in Vegas. And I asked him, I said, is this safe? And he said, absolutely. 128-bit encryption is totally safe. That same year, Thomas Drake of the NSA was hacking into it, creating the ability to hack into all Skype communications, but more importantly, just international communications. Thomas Drake was charged with 30 years of prison if he revealed the truth, and he did. He hasn't gone to prison, but I'm using a product on my hair, yes. The hair reverses the other side, it changes dimension. I had to use a conditioner today. Yeah, we've got Safeway Organics here. I've got black beans though to show you. Okay, we've got a boil going over here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the hot dogs in the boil. And I'm going to turn the temperature down to a level 3 now that I have a boil going. You can see that, right? Okay, I'm going to just throw them in here. All right. Okay, let me get that other knife. We'll go for the small one today. The Damascus steel is 67 layers of steel here. Severing the center of this is the key. So we're going to go ahead and cut it in half, essentially. Cut the little tip off. Nice and tight. You want to make it really nice and tight because this is the only onion you're going to be using in your entire meal. Now, if you have more onion, feel free. If you have green peppers, feel free, but I really didn't bring those into the meal tonight. I'm going for kind of a tomato-y thing. Okay, those hot dogs will come to a full boil, a rigorous boil. Actually, I'm going to turn the hot dogs back at the level 6. I'm just getting them up there again. I don't think Google should be called a private company. You don't get both. Well, yeah, I think I think you're right. Google should be called a private company. Facebook calls themselves a public company, and they're not public. So I think you're right about that, Tiddly-dee. Lying to Congress is a crime. You're right. I don't think a private company can just do what they want, though. They have to adhere to the laws of privacy. Facebook's trying to say that when you enter Facebook, you have no privacy at all. There's no presumption of privacy, they say. Okay, I'm going to throw a little oil on that white Corel here in the front. At level 3, we're going to throw those onions on there. Okay, we're done with that knife. Thank you very much. It made its guest appearance in the show. That was easy, huh? No big deal. Okay, ready to go. Little fruit enzyme. Wow, it's like a shower in your own kitchen. Okay, I'm going to take the black beans and open up this can. take Italian seasoning and put it on top of the onions. Lots of Italian seasoning. About a half a teaspoon. Okay. And just throw the beans right on top of that. Cover it up and run that at level 3. You don't have to worry about caramelizing the onions. They're going to cook right into the beans. So we're kind of quick cooking here. I will never eat anything like that, no. And your name is inappropriate because I'm an omega, an alpha and an omega. You have been banned. I am the beginning and the end, sir. Don't ever confuse me with anything but an alpha. And the omega. So, as you know, I'm heavily censored on the internet, so if you're watching this in the archives, maybe you're a time traveler and are watching this well into the future. For the past 11 years, I've been censored heavily by our mainstream media in a country that claims to be free and democratic. It's laughable almost to see our videos have like three hits every week when hundreds of thousands of people are clicking on these videos. How do we know that? That's a good question. We don't. Right. In 2009, my YouTube account was frozen and the hit counter went into a weird kind of a thing. We started getting a lot of hits, like 20,000 hits a week. And all of a sudden we got 2 in about 2009, right around the Penguin update. Our subscriber count has remained the same over the past 9 years. Technically, it's impossible to have the same number of subscribers for 9 years. And that's also true with Twitter. Our follower numbers have remained the same for 9 years. So whatever they're doing, they're altering the number, the hit counters as well. So we know that. I just don't know exactly how they're doing it. Nor do I care, because I know that I've been censored for 9 years. It doesn't take a lot to realize that. Simple facts like what I just told you explain that to you. Okay, we got a good boil going over there. Hot dogs are working. Beans are cooking. Let's take that up to level 6 too in the front here. Now I've got this can from 2006 I bought at wholesale for 50 cents. And it's green salsa and it's hot, so I'm going to taste it, see what it's like without ever seeing what's in it. I'm going to take a big bold chance here and taste it right out of the jar. The big question about old jars like this, thank you Amber, I need a foot warmer here. I got a rubber, hang on. I've got her trained to rub against my feet when I'm doing the show. Oh, it pulled off no problem. Wow. Smells fresh. I'm going to check the heat level. Just a little bit on my tongue. Got a little bite, not too much, but it's got that green component I'm looking for. I'm going to be layering corn tortillas. I'll take a few spoonfuls of this. You won't need much. You can use chilies that you can get. Ortega chilies are ideal. They come in a can for less than $1. No, I think we're good. But I'm tasting the heat. No, it's called avocado and tomatillo. I'm tasting the heat and that green component I'm looking for. Why are you arguing with me? I'm trying to make something here. I didn't have any peppers in the house. I have a couple growing outside. They didn't really grow enough. Now, one of her tricks is to trip me while I'm standing here. And no, I will not show you my foot cam because that's extra money. Considering you're getting this for free, I can't even show you my foot cam. It's being broadcast on a private foot network. I'm kidding, it's a joke. Dave's foot cam. We have politics for dummies here. Hey man, what do you think of this guy Johnson? Yeah, Boris Johnson. What? He looks a lot like me with better. I have better hair, of course. Well, not really right now. It looks kind of weird. Well, my feet are, I'm a size 12, but technically they're perfect. I have perfect feet. Some people have kind of weird feet. You know, I don't have anything wrong with my feet. They're perfect. I'm very much like Boris, really? I don't think so. I don't weigh 300 pounds. I don't look bewildered every time the cameras look at me. He may be a visionary, but a lot of people say he's lazy and he talks a lot. And I'm not lazy. I work all the time. I just don't get paid for it. All right, well, I'm glad I got your opinion. Okay, we got a full boil going back there. I'm going to shut that boil down now. Thank you. I'm going to heat up that Corelware in the back here on level 3. Now I have some garlic I pulled out from the garden I put here in my little container. This garlic's traveled 10,000 miles in the past month. I carried it all around the country thinking I'd be using it at the motels, and as you can see, I have a lot more garlic now I harvested. But garlic is a wonderful component in a meal, and if you guys want to cook garlic, here's a good one to show you. It is really good for you. It lowers your beep, 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 beep. I'm sorry, I can't tell you any specific data about how garlic helps you. In no way are we providing medical or health advice. I get a kick out of these shows on 153news.net because every time they make a show, they're worried about being banned in various countries now. So they keep telling people, don't watch this show, don't subscribe. That's what they're saying. Now, I personally want you to subscribe, but it's kind of funny how they're all afraid of getting kicked off the internet. Couple pieces of garlic in the bottom of this will be very nice to get the flavor of the corn tortilla going. It will caramelize, but I'm going to put it in with a little olive oil in the back of this Corelware back here. No more than a teaspoon of olive oil is needed to start with. And I'm just going to throw these garlic in the olive oil just to get them started. Get that pan going. The beans are really cooking fast. I usually take it and give them a little stir because you don't want them to stick at the bottom. Good. Now I've got a can of tomato paste. I'm going to use my old-fashioned way of making tomato sauce out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this tomato paste and show you how to turn it into tomato sauce at a big savings of probably $1.50. I get these things for down to 33 cents on sale, so typically they're about 50 cents. The good thing about them is there's not a lot of salt in them, and it's full of lycopene, which is a very healthy thing. So we're looking at tomato paste here. California Healthy Harvest. And I'm just going to take it out of the can like this, into this Pyrex container. Kind of get it all in there. Okay. Throw a little water inside the can. Put your hand over it and shake like crazy. Okay, that kind of changed the dimension of my hair, didn't it? Okay, now just pour that in. Check it for any residue. Still some residue in there. And then do the finger thing. But be very careful as to make sure your finger is clean and getting all of the outside rubbed against it. There you go. This is not a good way to date, and meet people publicly. It's like, hi, how are you? My name's Dave. Climate stabilization, yeah. Hey, Broke, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you for a while. Are you still talking about that? Why do you people give up that whole thing, Dr. Meow? Okay, so 2 cans of that mixed in. I pretty much got it all. Then take the spoons and kind of mix them up together. All right. Until you totally have it mixed. This may take a long while, so I'll talk to you right now. I know, he's a troublemaker. They're almost mixed up. It's kind of you have to keep it a little bit thick. It's almost like pizza sauce. Okay, I'm going to turn the front down to nothing. I'm going to stop that. So basically the only burner that's on right now is this one back here. And that's cooking at level 3 with a little garlic and olive oil in it. I'm going to take a little bit of Italian seasoning and kind of throw that on the bottom of that Corelware. I've got the garlic pretty much rolling along in a hot oil. And I'm going to take this package of tortillas and kind of drop it in there one at a time and rotate. I'm going to do it to a couple of them. Okay. Then I'm going to take the hot dogs that I have back here, drain the water from the hot dogs. Now, if you're doing this in the wintertime, you want to keep that water because it'll heat up your house. But I'm just going to run some cold water down the sink here so it doesn't burn my drain. But you're looking at all the nitrates being picked out of there. I'll just let that go for a while. It'll drain automatically. Okay, then you're going to take your hot dogs. I've pre-visualized everything I've done today, so it's all kind of natural. This dinner also calls for a little cheese, so I've accommodated some cheese in this dish. I'm going to open up this can of Hunt's Organic Diced Tomatoes. The whole concept really is to get this lid off. There we go. If you wiggle metal long enough, it will wiggle loose. So I'm draining all the nitrates down the drain. Yeah, you don't want the water to burn your drain, otherwise you'll have cracks in your line over time. Even HDPE plastic can crack over time. Are you an idiot? Just say yes or no. Just say yes, I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. Again, Truth Conspiracy up to number 15, again getting banned from the show for indecency. I'm going to give you a mute until you truly change your ways, dude. Okay. Fruit spray. There we go. I know more than you do, I assure you. I have plumbed many a sink. Yeah, you don't know anything about what you're talking about. You, sir, are an idiot. You don't want to put hot water down a drain. What are you, a fool? Fool? All right, now we're going to start a layering process. Take a look at this. It's already got a burn on it. See that? Okay, I'm going to take the beans. Move to the front burner and keep it at a level low. And I'm going to start layering for you. We're going to start with a little bit of tomato sauce. A little bit of green salsa. And go from there. Watch what I do. Are you watching? Thank you. So get everything lined up here. We're going to lift one of those up, put it down, make sure it's not sticking. You may want to apply a little more oil to this at this point. In lieu of that, I have this right here. An atomizer really helps. Okay? At any time during this process, you can add a little olive oil that way. Okay, so we're going to add some tomatoes. And then I'm going to add one of these hot dogs, or actually two of the hot dogs, face down. Then I'm going to add the beans, like so. And then I'm going to add another layer of corn tortilla. All right, now this is where it gets tricky. Now you have to do the same thing you just did over and over again. So, maintaining everything together, you're going to add a little bit of tomato paste, a little bit of tomatoes, let it run over the side, add the beans, then add the hot dogs. 1-2 hot dogs, like that. Start with your next layer, but this can be a fresh tortilla. If it's falling apart, that's okay too, as long as it's rinsed off. I just rinsed it off. Okay, I'm going to add another layer of tomato sauce. Now I'm going to put a little bit of the hot sauce in there. At this point, and that can go drizzle down to the sides. You don't have to use a lot of hot sauce, just any kind of hot sauce will do. Tabasco even is okay. I'm using a green avocado tomatillo seasoning, which kind of will give it that flavor I'm looking for. Now again, this is at a very low temperature, it's at a melt, okay? Because I purchased lots of deals on Cracker Barrel, I've got some Gouda here I'm going to add. And Gouda is really good. Any kind of cheese will be good. I picked up these deals for like $1 a container when I buy them on sale. But now is the time to add cheese, okay? This middle layer, it's important to add cheese because it's going to slowly bake into this entire dish. And this is a stovetop bake, so it'll take a long time, really, on the stove. About 30-40 minutes on the stove. We're going to add another layer of hot dogs. There we go. You can crisscross the hot dogs in different directions if you want. We'll add more beans, like that. And I'm going to add another layer of corn tortilla. This is like a mountain of corn tortillas. It's especially good for corn tortillas you've had in the refrigerator that are breaking apart. So that's what I'm kind of getting rid of these. At any time you can add a little bit more Italian seasoning. That's always good. You can even use Parmesan. Okay, stacking that in there. I'm virtually using all of the tomato sauce. Going to combine them now into the same container. More beans. You press down on the whole thing. And one more corn tortilla. I've got about 6 in here, or 5. And the final layer of hot dogs. But of course I have to add the tomato sauce first. So it's a little disorganized, but it's still kind of amazing. It's like a pile of torn tortillas and hot dogs. Now again, you can use the same method in the oven, but it's going to be 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. This is the hot part. I'm going to cover it up right now. I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to pour it right on top of this. See that? I'm going to take all the tomatoes, pour it on top of that, smothering it, the whole dish. Basically, I'm covering the whole dish. I've put all my ingredients in there now, and I'm going to add a little bit more cheese to the top of it and kind of cover it with cheese. Okay? You can use any cheese. This is Cracker Barrel. It used to be owned by a separate company, but now Kraft owns it. But cover your entire dish, and what you've created is a casserole of beef enchilada with a twist. You've got your hot sauce in here, you got your onions. You can always add more garlic. And again, you can use green peppers if you want. And I'm just going to cover it with cheese and let that melt slowly on the stove. Okay, we're done. Okay, I covered it up. It's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes at a low level, virtually boiling on the stove. Hey, that was not bad. We got done in a good time, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. If you have any extra tomato sauce, you can always eat it. Good. Full of lycopene. Very healthy for you. Yummy. And your septic system likes it too. Oh my gosh, we have a bad person over here who has to be banned. I don't need a mod, no. I usually put up with this for a while because I record all these things, and then because all the chat is recorded, it's saved in the archives. We'll be prosecuting that person, don't worry. So we finished off a lot of ingredients. Now this can take even longer than 30 minutes. It can take an hour if you want. You can turn it down to melt. It's really not a tomato soup. It's a complete mash that turns into a casserole. Okay, so I didn't use a lot of the green salsa because it was kind of spicy, but I'm going to keep that in the refrigerator. But I recommend getting the Ortega chilies. They come in a small can. They're about $1. One way I keep my cheese is I take it and wrap it with a little rubber band like that. I don't know how you people keep it, but that works for me. Works for me. Okay. We are done. Yeah, I want to thank all of you for coming in and watching the hot dog enchilada extravaganza, $6 for 6 meals. You can basically cut into this with a knife if you want to and scoop out. You can do a lot of things. You can actually add even an egg to this dish, and it kind of fluffs up a little bit when you do that. But as you know, I'm on a... She's cracking up. She refuses to eat eggs, so Sarah has kept me from putting eggs in any of my meals through her humor. It's the only time I can get her to laugh. Every time I talk about adding an egg, I immediately get a laugh at her. Isn't that great? Yeah. It's the only time I can get her to laugh. So if you want to put more than one egg in, you can. All right. I'm going to go into the other room now, but thank you very much for hanging out with David's Kitchen. This is David's Kitchen signing off for another wonderful meal. Take care. Bye.
It's alright.